It's the Rebel Yell Podcast, Trib Live High School Sports Network. Don Rebel with you. Welcome. Getting ready for week 2 of the high school football season. Final tune-up for all the teams except 4 teams from the Pittsburgh City League. But final tune-up for all the WPIAL teams. Not all of them will begin conference play next week. Most will. Some of those conferences... Let's see, do I have it here? Yeah, I have it. Some of the conferences with only 6 teams will wait until week 5 to actually get going. So that would be the Allegheny 6 Conference in Class 5A, the Northeast Conference in Class 5A, Big 6 Conference in 4A, the GAC, or the Greater Allegheny, also in 4A, Parkway Conference in 4A, all with 6 teams. 6 in the Interstate Conference in Class 3A. I think that's it. Yeah, everything else is either 7 teams or more. So some of those conferences I just mentioned will have to wait till week 5. Agonizing. So they would have 2 more tune-up weeks. But this is the final tune-up week for most teams around District 7. Except for 2, big news coming out midweek that Shadyside Academy has forfeited their game at Tyler Boyd Stadium. I was going to say Neil Brown. Maybe it's Tyler Boyd Field at Neil Brown Stadium, or it's just Tyler Boyd Stadium in Clairton. But yes, a rash of injuries, the school feeling that they could not put a competitive team together. They've had the Shadyside Academy program has had issues in the last half decade, 5, 6, 7 years ago. They had to forfeit a couple games late. Really, they were struggling at the time. This year's team's off to a 2-0 start. Did not see this coming, that's for sure. But Shadyside Academy has forfeited their game, so they are going to knock them from the ranks of the undefeated. They're 2-1. Clairton improves to 2-1 with the forfeit victory. They get a week off. I'm sure they're not really thrilled with that, but the long run, if you look 9, 10, 11 weeks from now, when they hope to still be playing football at Clairton, having this week off may not be a bad thing. That was one of our feature games here on Trib HSSN, so we've had to pivot. We'll tell you all about that coming up in a moment. All right, let's run down the week 2 schedule. 7 games. Featuring Class 6A teams against Class 5A teams. North Allegheny trying to go to 3-0. They take on winless Penn Hills. Hempfield trying to go to 3-0. They will be hosting Kiski area. Seneca Valley at Pine Richland. Both teams even at 1-1. South Fayette looks to go to 3-0. The Lions visit the Ken McMillan Big Macs. Latrobe hosts Norwin. Both those teams are 1-1. Peters Township, now ranked number 1 in Class 5A, not only in the district and the state, they look to go to 3-0. They will be hosting Mount Lebanon. And on Saturday, Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio, it's the Woodland Hills Wolverines taking on the Central Catholic Vikings. Both teams, even with 1-1 records, should be a pretty good matchup Saturday afternoon, 3:30 kick in Canton, Ohio. 5A non-conference, Penn Trafford at Moon, both the Warriors and the Tigers looking to go to 3-0. Battle of the Panthers in Murraysville, Upper St. Clair at Franklin Regional, 2 teams going in oppo directions this season. USC 2-0, Franklin Regional 0-2. Gateway looking for their first win. They are home to Plum. The Mustangs, even at 1-1, coming off a triple overtime thrilling loss, agonizing loss, I guess you could say, to Latrobe last week. And a pair of 1-1 teams meet in the South Hills of Pittsburgh. Armstrong visits Bethel Park. 5A versus 4A non-conference. Hampton visits Shaler. Titans looking for their first win. This is their 3rd straight home game, so they want to start pleasing the home fans, looking for a win on Friday. North Hills is home. They welcome former North Hills Indian Eric Kasparovich and his Mars Fighting Planets to town. Mars a perfect 2-0. Knock looking for their first win. They host Fox Chapel. The Foxes got their first victory last week over Baldwin. Speaking of the Highlanders, they will host West Mifflin. Both the Titans and Highlanders are in search of their first victory. Class 4A non-conference, big non-conference game. Some of the air out of the balloon with the shooting tragedy in Jefferson Hills, Pleasant Hills to be exact, this past week. Thoughts and prayers go out to Jaguars Nation. Just a sad, sad story. TJ will be taking on McKeesport. Jags are 2-0. The Tigers are 1-1. Trinity at Montour, both teams off to 1-1 starts. Chartiers Valley, big win over West Allegheny last week. The Colts look to go to 2-1. They are hosting winless Indiana. 4A versus 3A non-conference. Avonworth at Aliquippa. Good one here. The Lopes 2-0. The Quips winning their season opener last week at Bell Vernon. Home opener at Heinz Field for Aliquippa. Bell Vernon mentioned they lost their season opener last week to the Quips. They are at Central Valley. The Warriors still looking for their first win of the season. West Allegheny at McGuffey. Both those teams combined 0-3. Ambridge is 0-2. They'll be hosting Hopewell. The Vikings off to a 2-0 start thanks to James Boo Boo Armstrong, our player of the week from week 1. Blackhawk invades North Park to take on North Catholic. Trojans are 2-0. And a battle of 2-0 teams. Laurel Highlands visits Southmoreland. Newcastle is at Highlands. Both those teams are 1-1. York looks to go to 3-0. The Cougars in Monongahela to take on Ringgold. Rams are coming off their first win of the season last week. 3A non-conference, pair of 1-1 teams. Derry visits Deer Lakes. Imani Christian trying to go to 3-0. Won't be easy. They visit Beaver. Gypsy Glen taking on the 1-1 Bobcats. Pair of 2-0 teams meet at Chuck Knox Stadium. Quaker Valley hosting Freeport. Mount Pleasant is at Burrell. The Vikings 1-1. The Bucks 0-2. East Allegheny also 0-2. Tough test this week as the Wildcats visit 2-0 Elizabeth Forward. Greensburg Salem looking for their second win. They visit winless Valley. 2A non-conference. South Allegheny trying to get to 3-0. They are in Carnegie at Honus Wagner to take on Carlinton. Pair of 1-1 teams square off at Dormont Stadium. Seton LaSalle hosting Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Defending 2A champion South Park trying to get to 3-0. They are taking on Keystone Oaks, and Washington is at Union. The Little Prexies coming off a loss last week to Steel Valley. Speaking of Steel Valley, we continue with 2A versus Class A. The Ironman hosting Bishop Canavan. Excuse me. Ligonier Valley is at Jeanette. Apollo Ridge visits Greensburg Central Catholic. Both those teams are 1-1. California tries to go to 3-0. They are at Waynesburg Central. Bentworth visits Charleroi. Pair of teams looking for their first win. Brentwood at Stowe Rocks. New Brighton is trying to go to 3-0. They're on the road at Northgate. Neshannock at Elwood City. Both the Lancers and Wolverines are 1-1. Saturday afternoon, home opener for the Summit Academy Knights. Looking for their first win, they host Freedom. Shenango is at Mohawk. Southside, home to Beaver Falls. Laurel trying to go to 3-0. They visit Riverside. Western Beaver also trying to go to 3-0. On the road, they visit winless Rochester. Class A non-conference, defending champion Fort Cherry at 2-0. Looking for a third straight win, hosting winless West Green. Jefferson Morgan also 2-0. They are at Burgettstown. Blue Devils winning their season opener last week. Carmichael's also won their season opener last week. They are at Fraser. Mighty Mikes own the longest current win streak in the WPIAL at 4 games in a row. Monessen trying to make it 3 straight, home to winless Beth Center. Avella trying to go to 3-0. They are at Springdale Dynamos, losing their series opener a week ago. Leechburg hosts Sarah Catholic. Chartiers Houston at Mapletown, battle of 1-1 teams. And Riverview trying to go to 3-0. They are at Cornell. The Raiders are 1-1. Mentioned City League. They actually begin play this week on Thursday. Excuse me. Westinghouse takes on Brashear. Bulldogs trying to win their fourth straight City League championship. On Friday, Alderdice takes on Perry at Couples Stadium. Meadville visits Butler. The Golden Tornado are 2-0. Albert Gallatin is 2-0, playing an independent schedule. They visit fellow Fayette County Independent Connellsville. University Prep looks for their first win, taking on former City League foe Carrick. Raiders also looking for their first win. And Uniontown, the Red Raiders, are home. Another battle in Fayette County. Uniontown hosting winless Brownsville. So there's the schedule. Again, the big news coming out Wednesday that Shadyside Academy forfeits their game to Clairton. So the Bears are 2-1, and the Bulldogs are now 2-1 as well. All right, just a reminder, lots of games to choose from on our website, tribhssn.triblive.com on Friday. These are our feature in-house games. Our Cannon McMillan Network matchup, the Big Macs in their home opener, will be taking on South Fayette as the Lions look to go to 3-0. Our AHN game of the week, Battle of the Panthers, Upper St. Clair at Franklin Regional. Our Edgar Snyder game of the week was going to be Shadyside Academy at Clairton. It is now Bishop Canavan at Steel Valley. Game played at Campbell Field in Munhall. And the Moon Honda game of the week, Quaker Valley looking to go to 3-0, hosting Freeport. Those games are coming up Friday on the network. Thanks to our producer, Chris Lackner. I'm Don Rebel. I'll talk to you again. Do a little pregame hit before these games on Friday on the network. And then the WPIAL Scoreboard Show, Week 2 edition, begins Friday night at 9:30. We'll talk to you then. Enjoy the game that you will be checking out Friday, hopefully on HSSN, right here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.